Show because we had our election debate coverage and then our post-election show, post-debate show to talk about how everybody performed. Was there a clear winner? Well, somebody was watching the debate and maybe watching it a little bit differently than you and I were watching it. Robyn Braley is a body language interpreter, a writer, a speaker, consultant, and joins me now. Hi, Robyn.
Well, hi, Barb. It's great to be on the show.
Thank you very much for doing this. Now, for somebody who does what you do, what are you looking for as you're watching last night's debate?
Well, let me give a quick definition. Body language includes facial expressions, eye contact, active listening, the voice, and how you stand. Now, together, they either enhance or detract from what's being said. So why is that important? We make judgments based on what we see before we absorb the content of what someone is saying. It's called first impressions. In a few seconds, we decide whether the person is authentic or transparent. Can we trust this guy or not? Poker players call that a tell.
Based on all of that, was there a clear winner for you last night?
There wasn't a clear winner in my mind. However, Jagmeet Singh probably exceeded expectations, which is a real positive thing because he's been performing so well throughout the campaign. In fact, I think he has surprised pretty well everyone except his mom in how well he's done. He's consistent throughout the debate. He looked like he was in control. His ability to tell stories, to illustrate points he was making made me pay attention. He had strong eye contact. Gestures were in harmony with what he was saying. When he wasn't speaking, he was using a technique called active listening. So what happens when you're active listening is you lean in towards the speaker. Periodically, you will nod your head to signal that you are receiving what's being said, and very strong eye contact. I could tell that he was engaged with each opponent. He also turned slightly or fully to each opponent throughout the debate and slightly leaned forward, showing respect. However, if you watch the clips, you'll see he periodically was fidgeting with a pen. That did two things. First of all, it took my mind off of what he was saying. Second, with the pen in one hand, he could only use the other one for gestures. That caused him to look a little out of balance. Of course, the section where Mr. Scheer and Mr. Trudeau were talking at and over each other, causing Singh to look directly into the camera and made a joke and showed his sense of humor and his ability on his feet.
So that's very interesting, and I think it was clear to a lot of people who watched it that Jagmeet Singh just seemed so at ease and so comfortable. I found the body language of Justin Trudeau and Andrew Scheer very different from previous times I've seen them. I actually, this is just me, so you can tell me if I got it right or wrong. I found that Justin Trudeau didn't hold himself in as confident a manner as we've seen in the past. And I found Andrew Scheer to be more aggressive in his, turning his entire body toward him, staring him down. Was I reading that right?
Absolutely. I felt Justin Trudeau came across as being very ordinary. He wasn't the Mr. Charm of 2015. His overall gestures, tone of voice, and positioning were okay. However, he tends to use one hand making gestures, which makes him look like he's chopping and distracting. He also periodically looks down and away from the camera. If you do that too often, you begin to look uncertain and confused. I talked about active listening. Active listening means wait for it, actually listening. He often looked like he was impatiently waiting for his turn to speak, and signaled that by pursing his lips and kind of shifting back and forth. But there were moments when he clearly lost his temper and showed it with his facial expressions and slight bobs of his head from side to side. Near the end, Mr. Scheer angered him so much that he disengaged, turned away, and looked petulant.
You know, and I saw it the same way, and I think maybe the events of the last while concerning him have just sort of taken away the smugness, because none of that came through.
Well, he has what I call a smarmy smile. We didn't see a lot of that last night. And through all of the SNC Lavalin issue, the brown face issue, he would come back and defend himself and stick to his talking points, and definitely was scripted through all of that, but he'd end each statement with his smarmy smile. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that last night. Now, some observers today, Barb, if I can just mention this, were saying they were surprised that there wasn't much made of the brown face incident. But I thought the direct opposite. I felt a poignant moment that would normally be insignificant was when we had a split screen where he was on one side and the brown-faced man with the turban, Jagmeet Singh, was on the other. The image of Mr. Trudeau brought up the image of his brown face and turban in comparison to Jagmeet. And I feel that image will stay with people. They didn't need to say a lot about that.
Very interesting. Great stuff. Robyn Braley, thank you so much for this.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Robyn Braley is a body language interpreter, a writer, speaker, consultant. That was great. That was very interesting.